Hi everyone, I'm Drake, and together with my partners Casey Gallagher and Michelle Koch, our presentation is on the swimming methods of whales versus sharks. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what exactly is a shark. Can anybody here tell me what a shark is? Pause the video and why don't you tell me what you think a shark is? Did you say that they were torpedo shaped, that they could be big or they could be very small? They are usually carnivorous, so they eat other fish. They've got really special teeth that grow in like a circle, and so as the old teeth fall out, more ones kind of pop up behind them. Right. So sharks are actually fish, just like tuna, just like your pet goldfish. Sharks are fish. But one very special thing about sharks is they have a cartilaginous skeleton. Pause the video and tell me what you know about cartilage. Right. So cartilage is the stuff that your ear is made out of. You see how it's really bendy and flexible, and if you reach up here, you can kind of move it around, but it always goes back to the same spot. Their entire skeleton is made out of that, unlike other fishes whose skeleton is made out of bones, just like your bones or my bones. So just like other fishes, they breathe oxygen through the water, through the gills that are found in what would be our neck. They're also cold-blooded like all other fishes, which means that the temperature of the water actually controls the temperature of their body. So unlike you or me, where if we jump into the water and it's cold, we'll start to feel cold, the shark's body adjusts that temperature and it just feels the same as their body to them. Sharks are also usually solitary, which means they're found all alone. So now let's get into how sharks came to be. So where did sharks come from? Well, the answer is they're really, really, really old, right? Super old. They're much older than many other fishes. How old do you think sharks are? Pause the video and tell me. Did you say 450 million years old? That's right. They're 450 million years old. That's so old. As a matter of fact, it's so old that scientists don't really know how they came to be. They've just been around for so long that we're not really certain what they evolved from. As a matter of fact, the first shark-like fossils were actually found in rock that was 410 million years old, and that was their teeth. And these were found in older rock because they fossilize really well, whereas their actual skeletons don't fossilize well because they're made out of cartilage. And so the first actual shark fossil was found in rock that was 380 million years old.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey, and now that we've talked about sharks, I'm sure you're all wondering, what is a whale? Whales are the group of animals you get when we combine dolphins, porpoises, and the big whales like blue whales and humpbacks. All of these groups together are termed cetaceans, but for the sake of this presentation, we're just going to call them whales. What kind of animal do you think whales are? Are they fish, mammals, reptiles, bugs? What do you think? Pause the video and let me know. If you said that they were mammals, you would be correct. We know this because whales have skeletons that are made out of bones, and also they get their oxygen from breathing the air. They get this oxygen by their blowholes, which are on the tops of their heads, right here. These animals tend to be social, and they live in groups, and they are very vocal in nature. So, where did whales come from? As we learned earlier, the sharks are a very, very old and ancient lineage. When do you think whales came about? If you said 50 million years ago, you'd be pretty spot on. In terms of evolutionary history, that's actually a very, very recent appearance. So, where did they come from? Turns out they came from a family of land animals. Over here in this cladogram, we see the Pakicetus, which is the ancestor to whales. And this animal is extinct, but as you can tell, this guy clearly has legs and was very small and was a land animal. And throughout evolutionary history of this group, traits which favor an aquatic habitat become more dominant, and this results in the whales that we see today. Well, how do we know this is the case? Whales have a vestigial structure, which just basically means a bone or an organ that they don't use anymore, but they still have because their ancestors used to have it. For whales, this is the hip bone, right? It doesn't make sense that they have hip bones because they don't have legs, but because they come from this ancient lineage that started with land animals, that's the reason they still have this structure. Now we're finally going to clear up any misconceptions or confusion about what a whale shark is. What do you think? Is it a whale or a shark? Let me know. The whale shark is indeed a shark, and it's actually the largest fish currently living on this planet. These guys get very big and can grow up to 59 feet long. But don't worry, they're actually known as gentle giants because they feed through filtering mechanisms and suction feeding. In this GIF on the right, you can see the whale shark is gently sucking in the fish that it's trying to eat. It's not lunging or grasping at its prey like a bull shark would. And it also feeds by passively swimming through the water and collecting small particles. So these guys are not going to try to attack you like a great white shark might. But you should still respect them in their environment, right? If you look on the left side, this GIF over here, the tail of the whale shark is moving from side to side. Keep this in mind when we start talking about the swimming mechanisms of sharks and whales.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Since we just went over a little bit about the background of sharks and whales, we're now going to dive into how do sharks swim. So, how do sharks swim? Pause the video and let me know how you think they swim. If you said they swim just like fish, you're correct. They have a side-to-side movement of their vertical caudal fin, which is this fin right here. And they do this by moving their axial skeleton, which is their head and their spine. They also use their dorsal and pectoral fins for balance and direction. These are the pectoral fins, and these are the dorsal fins. They also have an oil-filled liver for buoyancy, which helps them not sink or float to the surface of the water. Since we just talked about how sharks swim, we're now going to talk about how whales swim. Pause the video and let me know if you think they move the exact same way as sharks. If you said they don't move the same, you are correct. They use their flukes, their tail flukes, which are right here, and their peduncle, which is right here, which is a large muscle area that propels the tail flukes up and down. This is called a sagittal movement, which is up and down movement using their horizontal caudal fin. They also use their axial skeleton, which is their head and their spine, to propel the muscles up and down. Just like sharks, their dorsal and pectoral fins are used for balance and direction. These are the pectoral fins, and this is the dorsal fin. However, they have airs in their lung which provides buoyancy so they do not sink or float to the surface of the water. So next, we're going to talk about the vertebrae comparison. Vertebrae are just small sections on the backbone. First, sharks have a cartilaginous skeleton, so all their bones are made out of cartilage. They have a transverse process below the centrum. These are the transverse process. They also do not have a spinous process or ribs, and their evolution allows for flexibility side to side. Sharks have the most basic version of vertebrae, and that's what really most other vertebrates' skeleton is based off of. Now cetaceans, though, again, are whales. Their skeleton is made out of bone. They also have a transverse process above the centrum, which are these things right here, and they do have a spinous process, which is this little projection at the top. They do have a presence of ribs, which the transverse process, remember these things right here, allows for the connection of the ribs. Their evolution allows for flexibility of up and down movement. Cetaceans evolved from four-legged land mammals, which can move their back up and down just like you and I. So that's really why they have the up and down movement of their caudal fin.
All right, guys, it's time for a quiz, just to make sure you've been listening. So which animal moves by swimming side to side? Undulatory movement. A shark! All right. Which animal swims by moving their tails up and down? Sagittal movement. This one's really hard, so be careful. It's a whale!
Which group evolved first, sharks or whales? If you said whales, that's incorrect. It's actually sharks. Which animal breathes their oxygen from the water? Sharks, again!
Which animal breathes oxygen from the air?
Whales!
And finally, is a whale shark a shark or a whale? It's a shark!
Yay! To conclude, here are our sources cited. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and learned a little bit about the swimming mechanisms of sharks and whales. Thanks for watching!